Hi everyone, Night Raid Gaming here. And oh boy, if it hasn't been about 7 days since the last Wizards of the Coast debacle. Now, Magic has done its turn of being put in the barrel and pissing everybody off. But it wasn't going to be long before D&D found itself in the crosshairs of the fan community and everyone who plays the game. Now, there's been a ton of people talking about this, and they've pretty much covered this thing from head to toe about how ridiculously nonsense the leaked OGL, quote-unquote leaked OGL was, and now how Wizards of the Coast is now pretending like, oh, thank you for all that wonderful feedback, we're going to fix it. Look, at the end of the day, Wizards of the Coast does not want to be a company that makes physical products anymore. Wizards of the Coast wants to be a software company, essentially. Really, they want to be turned into a video game company. Let's be honest. That's why they hired Cynthia Williams. That's why, she has a lot of experience working for the Xbox team. There's a very specific reason they targeted her. 50% just because she's a woman, because Wizards of the Coast is actually that stupid. They just hire people for style points. But the other 50% is she does have some legitimate experience with video games and working at Amazon and things like that. And so D&D and this new license and all that is basically created to sop up and sweep up all the physical product. I think what Wizards of the Coast wants to do is they'll keep selling books, but if they could have their druthers tomorrow, the next edition of D&D, let's call it D&D 1, I think that's what they're calling it. D&D 1 is a subscription platform. You subscribe to it with a monthly fee, kind of like Hulu, kind of like Netflix or whatever. You're paying a monthly subscription. That gives you 1 or 2 character sheets. If you want additional characters, you're going to have to pay an extra $5 for every character. When books come out, you're going to buy them like DLC. For $9.99, you unlock the Warlock class. For $9.99, you unlock the whatever Temple of Elemental Evil. For $9.99, you get a loot crate literally filled with D&D loot. That's how D&D wants their product to be sold. There's not going to be any paper version of D&D. Yeah, sure, the old ones, but not for the new stuff. And so they need to totally get people off of paper. No more paper books. Those are going away. Now, they might print some paper books in I imagine, a collector's edition. They've been doing that with their normal releases, putting out collector's editions with special shiny covers and things like that. So I could see them still doing that. For $100, you can get the D&D 1 Temple of Elemental Evil physical book. It's got some of the content in there and there's a lot of pretty pictures, concept art from the video game DLC. That's really what it's going to be. And so part of why the OGL that was leaked, why it's so hostile, is because they are specifically trying to chase people out of making paper stuff. Stop making paper books. Stop playing on tabletops. Stop playing with minis. We don't make any money off that. The margins are too low. If you can sell stuff digitally, it's pretty much 100% profit. You can loot crate the hell out of it. DLC it. D&D is going to have a battle pass. It's going to have loot crates. It's going to have a monthly subscription. I mean, they're going to hit you from every single freaking angle that they can come up with. Now, some software companies have kind of already done this to a degree. Roll20 has their platform. I believe there's, ForgeSoft or there's ForgeNet. There's another one. I mean, there's a whole bunch of these digital kind of platforms to play D&D and other games. Now, those kind of systems are just digital recreations of the paper game. So there's digital dice rolling and you still have the same character sheets. You're still using the same rules. This new D&D is going to be beyond that. It's going to be software only and is pretty much going to be designed in a way that you can't play it physically. I mean, that's the point. You're going to have to pay the monthly subscription fee to play D&D moving forward. And so that's partially why the OGL is so hostile. It's designed to destroy the paper format. That has to go. We're not making any money on this paper junk. the margins are too small. If the product doesn't sell, we get a whole bunch of returns, right? The stores will just return the books that don't sell, and now Wizards is stuck with all this stock. And they were already like very, very, very slowly producing paper product. Not a lot, 1 or 2 books a year if you're lucky, and it's almost all player stuff because that's the only thing that sells. So the new D&D, I think won't even have a DM. Not a player DM. You know, there'll be a AI DM basically, right? I mean, you're just playing the computer, but there's not going to be any DM right now. That's also another big problem D&D has. The only people who are buying product are DMs, and DMs are like 10% of the player base. 90% of the player base of D&D play characters, but they're not buying any product. So if the next version of D&D is digital only and literally you can only be a player, there's no such thing as a DM, well, everybody has to buy it. In theory, we're getting 90% of our customers, right? We're getting 9 times the amount of sales we're getting now. Now, those are all the plans that D&D is scheming. Is it going to work? Well, I think despite all the backlash, all the rage, all the anger, which is certainly justified, of course, we have to give D&D credit here. History is on their side. I mean, let's be honest. People were losing their shit when I think it was Elder Scrolls added the first DLC, right? It was like horse armor for $5, and that was an outrage, and people flipped out, and people got angry. But guess what? At the end of the day, it sold plenty of money, and DLC has not gone away. It's only expanded and gone more cynical and more crass, and they're charging for hats and everything. Everything has skins. Every game has skins. Every game has battle passes. Every game has loot crates. So despite the anger of this kind of thing, really, as far as customers are concerned, it's all talk. Yeah, people talk a big game, but they buy it anyway. So chances are, going at the history of software and these kinds of things, D&D actually, they are making the right move, and this is bound to work, unfortunately. Now, I love the paper game. I have a whole bunch of rule books on my desk, and I'm going to keep playing those. And I think there's a space for paper tabletop RPGs. I don't think they're going to disappear. But it's clear that Wizards of the Coast, they're done with this concept. They're done with paper. They want to get out of it. And that's fine, because they suck at it, and we kind of don't need them. So I think there's going to be a schism here. I think tabletop RPGs will continue. It's going to be a small community, small but strong, with all the little games. And D&D is going to start competing with like World of Warcraft. They're going to start competing with Dota 2, those kind of games. Hearthstone, that's their competition now, not Call of Cthulhu and Pathfinder. That's small potatoes, really. Not a lot of money. Yeah, sure, there's, some millions, but they want billions. Now, this, of course, applies to Magic the Gathering. And you can see how Magic is, why is Wizards of the Coast so hostile to the local friendly game stores? Well, same reason. They want to get rid of paper Magic cards. You make 100 times more money selling digital Magic cards than you do printing Magic cards. Even as cheapo as they are, even though Wizards of the Coast has slashed the costs of the paper cards to be as shitty as possible, you still make more money with digital cards. I mean, obviously, right? And then people can't trade them. There's no secondary market to sell digital cards. So it's a beautiful, wonderful utopia where only Wizards of the Coast makes money. No one else can make money. So they love that, They may be communist, but they're certainly greedy. We'll give them that. They do want all the freaking money. And so, Magic the Gathering, not going to be surprised if they start changing the rules. They want to be Hearthstone so bad. They are so unbelievably jealous of Hearthstone that Hearthstone really beat them at their own game. Made a card game that's more popular, is making way more money, and is obviously designed for digital, but is doing a good job at it. It still has a big fan base, and is literally just printing money on a popular digital platform with a very strong license, by the way. World of Warcraft is a way better property than Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering as an IP is total crap. It doesn't sell anything. It doesn't move merchandise. It only has the card game, and that's it. World of Warcraft, on the other hand, of course, has the MMO, has Hearthstone, it has the Warcraft series of games. They make merchandise and goofy, toys and t-shirts and junk all the time. People cosplay as World of Warcraft characters. If they made a Warcraft 4 tomorrow, it would be a huge hit. And they can make more Warcraft games. They could make a Warcraft RPG if they wanted to. They could really make anything they want. And people care about all the Warcraft characters, unlike Magic, where literally no one cares. Probably the only new Magic character who's popular is Liliana, and it's just because she's hot. Which, yeah, I mean, I get it, but, they don't like the character. They just like that she's a goth babe. Okay, I mean, I get it. I'm down with it, but not the character. It's just a picture, right? She's just a waifu. That's all she is. So Wizards of the Coast wants to be a software video game company, extremely bad. Now, I guess really the only thing that's in their way is how stupid are the people who run the company. Well, we know they're pretty freaking dumb. So that's, not working in their favor. But in theory, if they can hire the right people, if Cynthia Williams is a good person to lead a video game company, and they hire a good video game staff, and if the D&D license, I think the D&D license is pretty strong, that will make money. A digital MMO kind of hybrid loot box kind of game for D&D will attract people. People will play it. Even if they're mad, they'll play it just to get mad at it. And so I think they're going to make a lot of money. Even if they're revising this OGL, I mean, this isn't over, right? Okay, we may have won the battle, but we haven't won the war yet. So this is not going away. It may be shelved, it may be paused, may be changed, but the slow eroding of the physical game is not going to stop. Wizards is going to keep going until paper Dungeons and Dragons doesn't exist, and then shortly thereafter, paper Magic the Gathering doesn't exist, except as secret lair premium collectibles. You pay $100, you get 2 shiny foil cards to look at, even though there's nowhere to use them or play them. But boy, they look cool. So that's where Wizards of the Coast is going. It's very interesting to see a board game company try so hard to pivot into a software company. I mean, I think Hearthstone kind of broke their brain. I think really I blame this on Hearthstone. As soon as they saw Hearthstone come out, they got so jealous and went, "Oh my God, we're so stupid. Like, why didn't we think of Hearthstone? Just make a digital card game. It's literally free money. It's free real estate." So I think that kind of broke their brain. And as soon as that came out, they've been obsessed with making the next Hearthstone, making the next all digital money vacuum. We'll see if they can do it. They might not. They're trying to transition, but I'm actually kind of happy that Wizards of the Coast is getting out of the traditional game space. Yes, get out of here. I don't want you here anymore. You're terrible. Go away. You can join the other garbage companies like EA. It makes a lot more sense when you think about it. Think about how bad EA is. Think about how scummy Bethesda has been a few times. And think about how scummy Wizards of the Coast is. I mean, they're in good company. Those are the kind of companies that they belong with. Not these fairly nice companies like Paizo. They're not perfect, but they're certainly nicer than Wizards of the Coast. Even Fantasy Flight, who is maybe one of the, I don't know if I want to use the word scummier, but Asmodee is pretty bad and they're pretty money grubby. And even they're not 1/10 as bad as Wizards of the Coast. So I think Wizards of the Coast is going to make more friends hanging out with EA, hanging out with Bethesda. That's kind of more their speed. How can we screw over the customer? How can we squeeze every last cent out of the whales? That's perfect for this company and this staff. That's their mindset. They're dumb. They hate their customers, for sure. Absolutely despise the people stupid enough to buy their products. But That's okay. That's a lot of the video game space these days. They won't be missed. Let them go. And we still get the old games, so that's the nice part. We can still play first edition, second, third. Is anyone playing fourth? Well, you could play fourth or fifth if you want. So, yeah, that's kind of my opinion. I don't know. What do you think? Have I drank the conspiracy Kool-Aid? I don't think so. I think you have to look at the cynical viewpoint and know that this will probably work for Wizards of the Coast. This full digital transition, this exploitative OGL. This is just the next step. The evil demonic pupa that is going to evolve into a greedy, money-grubbing butterfly called Wizards of the Coast. All right, that's enough for me. I'll catch you guys later.